Hi, I'm Hales, and today I'm painting boats by the Jetty. This is another session with our Wednesday Wanderers, and Cynthia has provided our photo for this quick painting. I didn't have my SIM card in the video camera for the first part of this recording, so this area you're seeing now is probably the most important part of the painting, where I'm using a pattern of darks to create an energy and suggest the busyness of this particular part of the image. Just dots and dashes that are on objects, on the boat, on the jetty posts, in between the grasses. It's just the darks that I see in the image that I'm painting. And I'm using energized brush marks. This is a great way to deal with busy bits in a painting and not get too caught up on the detail. There's 1,000 grasses down the bottom here, and there's a very strong dark along the base of the hull. But I cannot see that as a continuous line. I just see patches of it until I get towards the front of the boat. Fat ones, dobby ones, ones with a square brush. I'm looking for ways to create a variety of marks here. And a little bit more detail on the boat. Is the boat the main subject of this painting, or are the grasses? Or is the setting more important? I certainly do not see this as a boat portrait. Hence, I am not painting the whole boat. I'm only painting those bits that I can actually see. I'll now create a little bit of form on the jetty posts by using a mid-tone grey. This adds interest to the marks that I have painted around and gives a sense of the structure. A deeper mid-tone on some areas of the jetty. Suggest busyness without being too fussy. I'm going to refine the top of the boat by using just a little bit more value on the water, to make sure the boat is sitting correctly. On this side, I actually need to take a little bit of light off the boat. and that is easy to do with a just damp brush. I think the boat will look better extending a little bit beyond the jetty posts, and so I'm just adding a little bit of colour there. I also want a sense of the boat being in shadow, and again, extra depth is how I can achieve this. In between the posts and what will be behind the grasses. I need to crisp up the front of the boat. It's most important the angle or the shape that is, in order to explain what kind of boat it is. And now for the grasses. And these are all kinds of soft, grey greens, light areas. But you'll notice I'm pulling the brush up from the bottom here, so that any marks that are left are soft and feathery, and so enhance the suggestion of the grass. That's with a square brush. And if I keep using that square brush flat, I get an area of colour. The minute I change the angle of the brush to working on the side, I get some of those long, strappy grass areas. And maybe they're too fat, so I'll change to my squirrel point, which makes fantastic grasses and branches and informal marks. You can do this forever. There's no shortage of grasses here, and sometimes it's hard to know when to stop. I think it's almost impossible in this kind of a picture to do too much. But I'm doing as little as I need in order to tell the story. At the moment, all the grasses I'm painting are on top of the boat, and they're not quite reading lightly enough. So again, I'm going to change the brush to a square taklon, and if I pull up, I get a little darker edge, and if I pull down, I lift the colour off. And now those grasses are definitely in front of the boat, and my sense of spatial relationships is working. It's almost a monochromatic type painting, except for the colour of the boat in this picture. And that means you look for variety in the greys and the hue of the grasses. Bit of lift off, bit of paint on, and you just do as much as you feel like in this particular part of the picture. So that's the painting. After 25 minutes or so, I finish up with this image. And I'm not 100% happy about it. The purplish colour is not quite as strong as that in reality, but I don't know that I really like what's going on there, and I think the background area is competing a little with the foreground. So what I'm going to do here is just wet across it, dampen a tissue into it, and lift some of that tone off. And you can see immediately how the boat is now the most important part of the painting. I could have glazed over the background, but I quite enjoyed just having a play with this It's just a little study, so I have nothing really invested in it, and so I'm willing to have a bit of a play with what's happening. You can see more of these quick demonstrations on the YouTube channel, and I also have some on my Instagram, IGTV. You can also follow me on my website, www.evhales.com. Thanks for watching.